From you this morning, the Board of Education. My goodness, do I go back years there. The board will meet in regular session on Tuesday, May 30th, 2017 at 9 a.m. in the Courthouse Meeting Room 2, northeast corner, 3rd floor, with 3 members present. And would you join me, please, with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Notice of the public, the Board of Supervisors welcomes comments from the public during the time allowed for discussion. You're requested to approach the microphone, state your name for the record, and limit the time used to present your remarks in order that others may be given an opportunity to speak. The normal process on any agenda item is for the chairperson to read the item from the agenda. The board is given an opportunity to comment on the issue and/or place a motion on the floor. An opportunity for discussion may be presented, at which time the public may participate, and a roll call vote will follow. Item number 1, approval or amendment of our agenda.
Go ahead, Steve.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we approve the agenda as printed.
Mr. Chairman, I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Motion has carried. Item number 2 then, in our, going down through our consent agenda, approval of the minutes from the regular session of May 16, 2017, accept file of District Court Record 417 General Supplemental Fund Surcharge of $1,302.84, accept Annual Manure Management Plan Update, Pickard Brothers Incorporated, ID number 68551, Annual Update Report received and placed on file, no changes made to the manure management plan. Accept the Annual Manure Management Plan Update, Prestige Farms of Iowa, Site PI 295, Finisher ID number 65971. Annual Update Report received and placed on file with no changes made to the manure management plan. Accept Annual Manure Management Plan Update, Tom Butters, Finisher ID number 59927. Annual Update Report received and placed on file with the following changes. 4-year index added. Approved claims as audited and authorized the county auditor and recorder to issue payment of the same. The listing of the claims paid at this meeting and all claims paid in the month May will be published as part of the first meeting in June. I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the consent agenda as printed.
Is there a second?
And I would second.
It has been moved and seconded. If there's any further discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 8, Buildings and Grounds Department monthly wastewater rate increase. Discussion of possible action to increase the monthly wastewater rates from the current usage fee to a flat fee of $100 per month. This flat fee would be effective July 1, 2017. The proposed rate increase is due to rising costs that the county pays in monthly service fees to test, maintain, and report to the DNR as required by law. Increasing rates would help the county offset these costs. I would entertain a motion so that we open this up for discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the change from the current usage of a flat rate fee to the rate of $100 per month.
And I would second.
Been moved and seconded. We'll open this up for debate. Sir,
Let's talk.
would you come to the microphone and identify yourself? Your address and phone? No.
Whoa. Lucas Badke, Buildings and Grounds Director. What we've had going on with our lagoon, we provide a service to 3 businesses now at the Gateway, Bratney, CropRite, and Consumers Energy, on their lagoon services. It comes into a lift station and we pump it mile and a half to our lagoon. What we've had is the person who was taking care of the holding a license on the lagoon said he was done. We got somebody new in there to do it. They do a wonderful job, but we had an increase on our monthly cost to them. It went from $250 a month to $400 a month. That's just for somebody to hold a license, take readings, send stuff to the DNR, inspections. That doesn't even begin to cover costs of repairs and maintenance on equipment and the lagoon itself. So my proposal here was to help offset some of, at least some of our monthly costs to the businesses that we supply a service to that is, they're not gonna find anywhere else. I mean, really, $100 a month, that's almost what I pay for my house in their business, but that's another thing. So the idea was to go from a monthly rate, which took into account the amount of their usage through the water. Basically, they read their water meter saying water in, water out type deal. And go from that, which actually ran through an old program that even the IT department had some major issues with. And by the time it went down, what we charged the businesses per month didn't even cover the cost to repair the program. So we're going away from that program, going to a flat rate fee, hopefully to offset some work on everybody's end, just simplify.
Okay, just for my thought process here, back to the guy that costs $400 a month. Is he in the ballpark, or is he extravagant in what he charges?
I think he's right in the ballpark. He may be, you could probably find it cheaper somewhere else, but what we have are actually two different guys. They work for the city at the wastewater treatment plant. They are really knowledgeable. They do this for a lot of the small towns even around that have lagoons as well.
Okay,
Yeah, the amount of licenses and education they have to have on this is off the charts.
Yeah,
And we have not adjusted this rate since that lift station and everything was put in.
Yeah.
So we're going back to when the jail bonds were originally taken
2008.
out 20 years ago.
yeah.
So honestly, we're looking at the first time that there's been an increase in these rates for the last 20 years. The $100 per month would be extremely similar to what my business pays in Marshalltown for probably close to the same usage of some of them out there.
Yep.
So the fee is pretty standard, not out of line.
okay.
Are we at the point where we're covering costs? I mean, we don't want to make money on this, but at the
We're-
same time, are we getting close? Because, I mean, we also have our usage in there also.
Yeah, we're basically gonna help cover our monthly costs. It's not gonna offset, if we have a piece of equipment or a valve or something go down. That's still gonna be on us as the owners of the actual property in the lagoon. But,
And honestly, we've got to have that lagoon for the jail facilities anyway.
yeah, that's the major portion of the usage
Okay.
there, is the jail facility.
So my point is, are we covering the additional costs that we have of these three entities putting into our facility?
Yes, yeah, I think
Okay.
so. We're not making money by any stretch.
All right.
Have you had any contact with these businesses? Are they aware?
Yeah, I've had contact with consumers. I've tried to reach out to the other two companies. They're not. Bratney, I've had a hard time getting a phone number for, and I haven't stopped by at what seems like a good time. And CropRite is kind of a
Seasonal.
part-time deal,
More of a
seasonal.
seasonal
Yeah,
business,
they're kind of all over the place.
So you haven't heard a lot of pushback then?
No,
Any
I haven't.
pushback?
I haven't
Any
heard
big thing?
any pushback from the rate increase. We did have an issue with consumers. They had overpaid. They were wondering what was going on with that, and I had a good conversation with them the other day. And they, I was going to call the lady back today after this. It was an up or down vote, and let her know where we're at.
Well, the overpay is easy to handle, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you're paid ahead for quite a while.
Yeah.
James, are we going to do the same thing on the billing? Is it all going to be electronic and we don't have to fool around, or are we not taking measurements anymore?
We're not taking measurements anymore. We're eliminating that entire program and going to a flat rate. Lucas and I are working on a program that will send them an invoice automatically, so we don't have to have staff doing it. We're hoping that down the road a year or so, we'll be able to build this into our accounting software, but that's not currently an option with the system we have. So we're going to use a similar system to what IT is using in the meantime.
Okay, so we're not going to put any additional burden on the auditor's office?
Exactly right.
Okay.
Easy
I
cheesy.
guess, except they're gonna receive a check now instead of automatic ACH payment. We won't go in and take their money anymore. They'll
Okay.
issue us a check.
Okay. Any more questions for Lucas?
No.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Any further discussion?
Not for me, sir.
You're happy? If there's no further discussions, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Motion has carried. Moving on then to item number 9, request the use of the courthouse grounds and mobile band shell for a public event. A request from the Marshalltown Company for use of the courthouse grounds and rental of the mobile band shell on Saturday, June 24, 2017, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. as part of an event to celebrate the Iowa State University Solar Car, the PRISUM. I assume that's the name of the car here. Coming through town as the car travels all 99 counties in Iowa in preparation for their big race in Australia this coming October. I would entertain a motion to open this up for discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the use of the courthouse grounds for this event.
And I would second.
Been moved and seconded. Would you like to,
Love to make a few
Come.
comments, if you don't mind.
s-
There's the paperwork application
St-
for the band shell.
yeah, state your name so it's on the record and we're ready to go. Yeah.
Joe Carter, President and CEO of Marshalltown Company. Some of you might know it as Marshalltown Trowel, but we changed the name 14 years ago, and most people still have a hard time remembering that. I brought a few cars, and if you don't mind me taking just a little bit of time, I also want to modify the proposal. We learned about this roughly 3 weeks ago when we were over at Iowa State and became a sponsor for the solar car that Iowa State builds. They've been building a car since 1989, always a single passenger. They've done incredibly well, and they're one of the top 5 teams in the country racing these types of cars in the nation. But they decided that after getting a lot of requests can we buy this sort of car? When is this sort of car going to be on the road? These students took it upon themselves to try and make a 4-passenger car. It's always been a single passenger car, and I'm going to hand Steve a picture of a couple of their earlier cars. Always single passenger, that's what they did. And they wanted to do a 4-passenger car that has room to carry luggage in the back, really make this a street-worthy car. They're really the only U.S. university that's doing anything like that. And Steve has turned that over to the backside. That's a rendition of what they hope to be building, and the unveil is this coming Friday at Iowa State. So other than these students, no one's really seen the actual car yet. Those are some drawings that they did early on, and there's another one that they had. But ultimately, they're culminating with a race, and that's the last sheet. They're culminating with a race in October in Australia. It's the first time they would be racing outside of the country, and our company is trying to help them transport the vehicle to Australia, which they think they're going to have to airship because of time, and then to come across the ocean by cargo on the way back. And so we're trying to help them with some of those sort of things, as well as giving them a gift donation. So as we were there, they talked about they were going to do a sun run where they're covering all 99 counties of the state of Iowa, starting on June 3rd, and they would end up on June 24th in Newton at the Iowa Raceway. And I apologize, I'm not much of a car racer guy, so it's either like the ethanol or corn 400 or whatever that race is on the weekend of June 24th. So they were coming through Marshalltown June 24th. They didn't have a sponsor, they didn't have a host, they were basically doing a drive-through. So I asked them if we could be their host, and they were excited about doing that. They're going to be at the Gladbrook Corn Carnival the night before in the parade. But really didn't have anything planned for the day of June 24th other than going to the Iowa Speedway. So my request is that we would utilize the courthouse lawn to hold a big event. I think this would be a great opportunity to do something big in Marshalltown, not only to celebrate the Iowa State Solar Car, but why not utilize it as a large event for our community and for our downtown. That's my hope. I'd like to modify the request if I could. The car, we've requested for the city to do a police escort from 3rd Street on Main Street, from 3rd Street down to the courthouse at 9 a.m. And then the car will be available to give rides. So we think that's something that would be pretty cool. One of the reasons we wanted them to stop, we think that will be a big attraction. So we'd like to be able to utilize we're planning the event from 9 a.m. to 1 in the afternoon. They have to leave by 1 to be in Newton by 2. And so that's our time frame, but we're going to need some setup time, and so we've requested from the city, I think from 7 a.m. to 1:30 in the afternoon, a little bit of tear down time, that sort of thing, that we would have Main Street closed off from from Center Street to First Avenue, that section. We've got, and we also are requesting the use of the band shell. I turned in that application just moments ago, along with a $450 check and the certificate of insurance. So I think we've got those bases covered. On the band shell, we've already got 3 live bands. We're hoping one to start at 9 a.m. when the event starts. And they would, at 9:30 they would start. They'll play for 45 minutes. At 10:30, the solar car will give the team will give a presentation that should go about a half an hour, and then we'll have 2 more bands playing after that. We've got a number of food trucks lined up, vendors lined up, as well as a car show, or they tell me it's technically not a car show if they don't judge cars. So a show and shine is kind of the phrase I've heard used. So those are the intent, or that's the intent for the event so far. We're very early on in what we're doing since we just got started in it, but that's our request, to utilize the courthouse lawn from 7 a.m. to 1:30 in the afternoon, Saturday, June 24th, and use the band shell as well.
Now, you said 7 a.m. Did you mean 9 a.m.?
The event will start at 9 a.m.,
Yeah.
but we would like to be on the lawn as early as 7 a.m., if that makes some sense, because we need setup time to make certain we've got the PA system, sound system on the band shell, et cetera, and want to do that morning.
Okay. You'll need to just have your folks work with Lucas Badke and our buildings and grounds. We do have some fiber optic out there, so if anything gets driven in the ground, we have to make sure that doesn't get hit. And of course, your electrical needs and the rest of it.
Yeah, great.
But,
Your electricity's free. You just plug in.
Okay.
Can help you.
Oh,
I'm
fantastic.
assuming we're going to be serving eggs sunny side up for the solar, and
Absolutely
KC
right.
and the Sunshine Band is not in
Stop.
they're not around anymore, but, okay, I'll stop now. Marketing.
Yeah,
Never stop
that's-
marketing.
That's exactly right, yeah.
This sounds cool.
Yeah, it should be
This
a
is
great
exciting.
event.
And rides.
Yeah. There's not just one area, one part of the university that does this. This is a conglomerate, isn't it, of groups? I mean, it started out Double E or something years ago.
Bill, you remember it well. It started out a very small group,
Yeah.
I think mostly electrical engineers, but it takes on a wide variety of technical folks. So they range not only electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, wide variety of engineering curriculums. I think they also use some designers to help some of their marketing pieces, industrial designers to help design the car. We have one gentleman at our facility who graduated 2 years ago. He's an electrical engineer and was on the solar car team. At the time he left the team, there were about 30 students that were involved, 15 of them very active. And because the design has been very similar over the years, there hasn't been a lot of change, and not a big reason for a lot of students. today, with what they're trying to do and try and make this a 4-passenger car, totally different. There's really no other U.S. university that's doing anything like it. The teams they will compete against in the 4-car or 4-passenger division in Australia are really from outside the U.S., so Japan, the Netherlands, Germany, a number of countries like that. And all of those are graduate students, and those graduate students only work on the car. They are working on nothing else. They take no other classes. The students we're talking about here are all undergraduates, and they are all taking full loads, and so they're doing this during their spare time and trying to work and trying to do all this as well. But they're up to 120 students now that are working on the car. 90 of them, they say, are active. 120 in the group, 90 of them active. So it's grown enormously. I mean, it's quite a thing, and for the state of Iowa to be able to compete against the University of Michigan, which gets a ton of help from Chrysler, Ford, GM, really those guys get help building their car, as well as the technology base out in the West Coast. For our guys to do that in the little state of Iowa is pretty phenomenal.
Well, and when you're going against these other countries too.
Yeah, pretty great stuff.
This is great, I think. That's very good. Any more questions for Joe?
I'm assuming you're going to Australia in October?
I'm not.
Oh,
Okay.
Wish I was.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Would the person moving the motion, being David, would you want to change your motion to 7 a.m. to 1 p.m.?
I can amend my motion to include for the setup starting at 7
And
and
is
this
that-
concluding at 1.
Okay, is that okay with the
Yes,
second?
absolutely, I would say.
1:30, I think is what he
Okay.
requested.
Or until they're done.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know,
Okay.
whether, we'll give them a little leeway in there, but
We
yep,
did-
we can
yeah.
start at 7.
This is not a full-fledged amendment, we just approved a change by both the mover and the second. Is there any further discussion?
No, sir.
If not, roll call vote, please.
Thompson.
Yes.
Slosik.
Yes.
Patton.
Yes. Okay. And
Look-
again, thank you, Joe.
Look forward to it. This is going to be fun.
Back many, many years ago, when I was at Iowa State, the students in the area that I was in, which was the agricultural area, worked on various projects. And one of them that they worked on was they were creating a round hay baler. Guess what? It worked. That was the first one I'd ever seen, and now it's all over the world. So they do a lot of interesting and innovative things, and it's great to follow. Okey-doke. Moving on then to item number 10, resolution 2017-0031. This is a correction of the names and streets and avenues in Marshall County, Iowa. This happens periodically. It hasn't happened for a while. But I'll read through this here quickly. But whereas on June 16, 1986, at a regularly scheduled meeting of the Marshall County Board of Supervisors, resolution designating the names of streets and avenues in Marshall County was approved as part of the proposed E911 emergency system. This resolution is filed under document 1986-00006154 as recorded in the office of the Marshall County Recorder. And whereas several spelling errors were found in the names of streets and avenue designations of the official map that accompanied that resolution, and whereas no official board action has been located regarding the correction of these spelling errors, now therefore it be resolved by the Marshall County Board of Supervisors, the following corrections be made to the official names for the streets and avenues in Marshall County as listed below. Mormon Ridge Road should be spelled M-O-R-M-O-N, Ridge Road, running through sections 20, 28, 29, and 33, all in the township of 85 North, Range 19 West of the 5th Principal Meridian, Marshall County, Iowa. Okay, this would basically be Bangor Township. I'm not sure I'll pull the right townships for the rest of these here. Longford Avenue should be spelled L-A-N-G-F-O-R-D Avenue in Section 1, Township 83 North, Range 19 West of the 5th Principal Meridian, Marshall County, Iowa. And Moniger Moniger Road should be spelled Moninger, road running through sections 1 and 11 in Township 84 North, Range 19 West of the 5th Principal Meridian, Marshall County, Iowa. Okay. Just a little quick side note on this. The way this got started was some people from Illinois who are Moniger family, and it was named after their family, stopped by and said, you know, it is spelled incorrectly. And they were willing to pay for the sign. But it got us started, and we found some more. And this is how this thing got put together. So, be it further resolved by the Marshall County Board of Supervisors, correction should be of the names of various streets and avenues in Marshall County as indicated above is effective immediately. Dated at Marshalltown, Iowa, this day of May 2017. I would entertain a motion to open up discussion on this.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to adopt resolution number 2017-0031, resolution corrections of names of streets and avenues in Marshall County, Iowa.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that adoption.
Is there any further discussion? Anybody?
There's been a lot of work put into this.
You know, I thought this was gonna be simple. Before long, we had
No.
6 or 7 people working on this.
Yes.
And looking back in the minutes, Whitney and I looked at the Moniger name, and when you go back about in 1885, the person who gave the land for the road signed his name very eloquently. But if you looked at it, it looked like 2 N's. But if you look real closely, there's a dot above one of them, and that was the I. But that's how we got 2 N's instead of 1. And it was kind of fun going back, but it did take a lot of time, several people. Any other discussion? Paul?
I talked with Royce Fickner last Thursday, and he said that he thought that a long time ago was a Moninger school, too.
Yes.
If we wanted to verify the spelling of the name, there was a school named after that at one time.
Just down the road, yeah. I don't think any of my friends are of the age where they have gone to the Moniker school, but they knew people who did, so. Any further discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Thompson.
Yes.
Slosik.
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
So you'd have to be past middle age then?
Somewhat,
Okay.
somewhat, yeah. Once you go past middle age, it's always just somewhat, Dave.
Okay.
So don't feel bad.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Okay. You guys, okay. The next one is item 11, Senate File 489, fireworks discussion and possible action on policy concerning fireworks sales and usage in Marshall County, Iowa. Okay, that's going to be in the unincorporated area of Marshall County. And we'll do this a little bit differently. Let's open this up for discussion. Prior to this, comments, we really haven't had a lot of comments from the people. Most of them have said, let us shoot the fireworks. I think I had one person call and say that they were not, or email and said they were against this. What have you other guys found?
Well, I got the same email you did, and that was from one individual, and I received a second email, and that was it. Both of those were against. All comments that I have heard have been, go ahead and do it. I did take an opportunity to speak with Sheriff Hoffman, and he's given me permission to pass on his comments. He was perfectly fine with the way that Senate File 489 sat, and didn't recommend any changes. And I would have a tendency when our chief law enforcement officer in the county that would have to enforce anything says that he is fine with the way that a Senate file sits, I would have to agree.
I tried to visit with most of the fire chiefs in the Marshall County area, in the smaller communities. And it was kind of, I wish I could have talked to more of them, but we had some strong feeling from one that, no, we shouldn't be doing this. And another one that was just really didn't, pretty indifferent about it, didn't seem to think it would be an issue or be a problem. So
And
that's
those-
where
yeah.
that's where it ended up.
Those were the feelings I got from them also. I think I would have a tendency to take some action on this if we had real strong resolve from our rural fire departments and let them make the decision, but I'd have to concur with you that everything I got, there really, other than one individual, there was no strong feeling on this other than let it go.
And those small communities can also, they can do something in the way of
Absolutely.
law and regulations.
Yep.
In their own communities, so.
Yeah, Bill nailed it. We're just talking in the unincorporated areas
Yeah.
here, so no, we're not talking any cities.
Do you have any comments?
Hang on, I think, did you want me to step up? Or- No.
Depends how long you want to talk.
No,
Okay.
it's brief, yeah. No, from the fire chiefs meetings that I've been to, and I'll be going to a county meeting tomorrow night, that's why I'm here to report back to them, but, same thing. A few that think maybe someone can get hurt, but most in general are saying that they're indifferent, that
Mhm.
either way.
I have neighbors that have been having fireworks for 30 years. But we're out in the country. The worst thing that happens is my dog disappears for 2 days. And, you know, I work with that, and so on, but that's all we have. I don't see, after visiting with people in the northwest part, stopping and catching them at coffee so you can kind of get a group of people, they say, just let it go, follow the state. And so that's kind of what we found. Different than what the city has. The city has a different problem. And if we have one family per section out in the county, that's about all we have anymore. We're relatively rural, I guess. So at this point, is there any further discussion?
Not for me, sir.
I've got a
Paul.
quick question. Did the city's ordinance, does it regulate sales of fireworks too, or is it allowing sales of fireworks in the city?
As far as I know,
Just the,
the sales have to go on. Now, they can regulate it by saying it's only gonna happen here and not there.
I was just curious if we'd have like fireworks stands outside of the city that would be just popping up, or if they,
Well,
anyway.
that is a possibility.
I'm not looking for a side job or anything. I just was,
No. I would think that the best place for sales would be where people are. And we don't have the people out in the rural area. But that is a concern.
so I
Yeah.
just was curious.
Yeah, I would not like to see a tent stuck on 30 and 330 exit. But that, you know, we'll go from there.
So bottom line is we're taking no action.
That's true.
Okay.
What my wonderment is, or my concern is, should we have an official motion saying that we're going to follow the state's 489 Senate file and take no action?
I don't believe we have to.
Okay,
State law is state law.
State law is
and
state law.
The Senate file gave cities and counties the ability to further restrict it if they so chose. And if we don't choose, it automatically just reverts to the Senate file.
well, that's kind of the way this was written up, kind of left open here. So if that's what you guys want to do, we'll just continue.
If the auditor would like
The
it
only
clean.
thing the only thing that I would mention is that because of just saying you agree doesn't mean that everybody is agreeing to it. We didn't do a roll call vote or anything, so.
Okay.
With a motion, you would have that roll call vote, and it would be cut and dry.
That being said, I will motion that Marshall County files the Marshall County follows Senate File 489 for all of the unincorporated areas of the county.
And I would second.
Been moved and seconded. One thing I might throw out is that means then that fireworks can be shot between June 1 to July 8th and December 10th to January 3rd, as I see it in the law. If there's no further discussion,
Is it June or July?
I thought it was July.
I think it's July 1st through the 8th.
You saw something different?
let's stop for a second.
I thought I heard you say June. That's
I-
He did.
I said June.
That's what I was.
I said June.
Yep.
And it says here,
That's for sales.
That is for sale. And I think perhaps that's what I
Picked up on.
picked up on this morning, because we went through and rechecked this morning. Okay. Limitations, when you want to find it, you can't find it.
Well, if the motion just says follow 489, then it doesn't matter.
You don't have.
I think we
Right.
just,
No,
just
that's
leave,
right.
just leave my.
Leave it on following
my
489.
little oration out of that then. Okay, any further discussion? I'm gonna cross out my time here. Roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Gravenbauer.
Yes.
Gravenbauer.
Whoa!
Solosik.
Oh, that's gonna leave a mark.
Motion has passed or carried. Item number 12, mobile band shell rental agreement. Review mobile band shell policy on rental requirements.
From time to time, Lucas, yeah.
There's been quite a bit of discussion lately on how we want to handle the mobile band shell. And what we come up with, my predecessor made the adjustment that we would charge a flat rate, $450. I think it was increased from either $250 or $300 to $450 to help offset some of our costs. We have the mobile band shell. We like to rent it out or supply it for community events inside the county. And what I have run into is, I'm not going to make an official suggestion today, but we kind of want to open it up for a little discussion, is that, like, we just approved the band shell for the courthouse grounds for, 4 or 5 hours on a Saturday. And it's a flat rate, $450. But then say the fair and the fireworks pay that same $450, but they have it for 6 or 7 days, and they use it maybe 12 hours. What we have coming across is, say, I have to have someone here at the band shell to basically babysit it while it is open. So on a day where they use it for 3 hours, $450 covers it. But over a week when they use it for 10, 15 hours, I have to pay somebody. Well, right now, we don't have anybody doing it, so I get to do it, which is wonderful. I'm salary. We don't have to pay anything extra.
Thank you
but
for that.
Yeah, it's really wonderful to donate my time.
Now, when the fair has it, is it open every day?
Most every day, at least for a couple hours. It's an ongoing deal. And we also run into the fact that we move the band shell with secondary roads. So whether they just bring it to the courthouse or they take it to LeGrand or Green Mountain or Gilman, my thought on it is, yes, I would like to see some sort of flat rate lowered and then charge an additional for mileage, pickup, and retrieval, and then per hours of operation that it's actually being used. and I'm just gonna kind of throw some numbers out there, and Paul, I don't know what like a, mileage rate for you would be, but say, we bring to the courthouse, that's maybe a mile and a half, your mileage rate there is low, and then say you use it for 4 hours, we can bill out that $14 an hour, usually is what about we pay for that, bill out the $14 an hour to actually man the band shell with somebody on our staff, but we can lower the initial flat rate fee, is my thought.
I would caution you against lowering any rates, because my feeling is that no one could rent that band shell for less than double what we're charging with any other piece of equipment around here, just knowing what I know about mobile stages.
Yeah.
I mean, we are subsidizing this stage. This is definitely something that Marshall County is helping the communities and the organizations in this county by supplying it, because they couldn't get it this cheap anywhere.
I would concur that we do not lower the fee, but I wouldn't mind adjusting it so we cover for the manpower hours when we have prolonged usage of it.
Because that's a major expense.
I understand. We also have to be good stewards of the community. The band shell was raised and through Rotary. It was private donations. It was then turned over to Marshall County with the caveat that we do charge for it so that we can continually maintain it because of those charges, and that it not leave Marshall County. That being said, I would like to see us stay with our rates to the point where we continually have a fund to be able to do that ongoing maintenance and upkeep of it, because some years it does get fairly expensive when we have to do rewiring of the electrical system or the lighting or
Needs new stickers now.
Yep, new stickers. I don't want to get to the point where we're making a profit on this, but I want us to cover our costs,
Yeah.
because we are stewards of the community for
Yes.
this.
Yeah, I mean, it takes, it takes 2 guys a little over an hour to set it up. 3 guys, you can get it done in about a half hour. That's set up each, and tear down. Also with time for a driver, Paul has to pull somebody away to make the trip with it, depending on how far we go. It's just, really, I'd love to see the band shell go back to the Rotary, but that's just me. I'd like to wash my hands of it.
They don't have the facilities or the manpower to be able to
Yeah.
store it and
Yeah.
take care of the rest of it. The other thing we have is from time to time, you have certain groups that ask for it to be donated, and we just can't make that exception, because then it becomes a particular thing where we're trying to make a decision who is worthy of that not paying the fee and who is not.
Where do you draw the line?
And you just can't open that Pandora's box. You've got to leave that one shut.
Would you consider making a proposal to us on what you think the extra charges should be?
I need to get with Paul a little more on some concrete figures. This was something that Lisa and I have talked about a few times, and with Bill kind of in and out here and there. And we just kind of wanted to get it on an agenda, open up some sort of dialogue on it, and then kind of get a feel of what direction we want to move with before I start putting together concrete numbers and going with a proposal.
About the farthest we hauled it before was State Center, and they haven't used it for a couple of years. They've come up with a permanent location.
Well, they used it for the Rose Festival
Did they use it
year.
last
They're
year?
using it again this
Okay,
year.
it's okay.
And I know we've taken it to Gilman, which is a haul too.
And the
Okay.
grant.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of remember there was some late night work.
Yeah, there was
One
some
of
late
those
nights for me
locations.
last year, and that was, I got home at 3:30 one night after the Rose Festival.
That's why you get paid the big bucks, Lucas.
You and I have different ideas of bucks, but that's okay.
Well, you could have the salary of a supervisor.
Yeah, let's.
No, thank you.
I could,
Okay.
I could have a different job too.
Would you want to bring this back at the next meeting, or we just leave it open and when you get it done, bring it back?
Let's
we're
just
not-
leave it open for now. I
we're-
got a few things on my plate I want to get taken care of, and this isn't a real high priority.
Sure.
I'm thinking maybe bring it around for the next go-around, get everything out of the way that's on our current schedule, kind of for this season.
for next
and bring
year.
it in for the next season.
Okay, that-
Yeah.
that sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Because-
We don't want to change it or change it for somebody else that would come through into this year when somebody's already paid.
Because we're storing it out to Antique Power now.
Yeah, we store it in the new
Okay.
building out there. And then, well, over the winter, we store it there. During
Right.
its actual season, it's at the secondary road shop.
Right, but we don't have the additional storage costs, is my point.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, we'll just put this in the back of our mind, knowing that one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days.
You'll come back.
Yeah.
Maybe towards fall, early winter.
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Sounds good. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Bet.
I
Okay.
did want to mention that on the agreement, it does say, any variation from the above fee schedule is subject to additional fees. So, there is a little note at the bottom there already on the agreement.
Leaves a little room. Yeah.
In case they want the additional staging and things.
Yeah.
Yeah. The additional staging, we just quit doing.
Yeah,
It costs too much money. It costs too much labor.
it's a lot of time and effort.
And when we put it down as an additional cost, nobody's wanted it.
No, I think really in itself with the basic staging, there's a good, there's a good surface there. It's, I mean, pretty much everybody minus your municipal band and some sort of conductor can do just fine.
So KC and the Sunshine Band would fit on it,
I think so. Are they a 70s?
somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think they can live there.
Okay. Thank you, Lucas. Moving on to 13. Item 13 is the secondary roads policy on selling fuel to other departments and governmental agencies. We actually tabled this at a meeting last time, and then we brought it up during a special meeting, discussed it, and passed it at that time. And then we got to thinking, that was a special meeting. Let's take a second look at this and have it on a regular board meeting, so this is out and about. And Paul, quickly, we decided at that last discussion then, at our special meeting, we were gonna raise it how many cents now?
I thought the motion was 10 cents, to raise it 10 cents to 15 cents a gallon.
From 10 cents to 15.
From 5 to
Or 5 to 15.
Yep.
Right.
The information that I've found is that we have consistently, over the last 10 years, it's cost us 12 cents a gallon to pump every gallon, and that's, secondary roads gallons as well. It's not, I mean, things are just, over the past several years, like everything else, things are getting more expensive, and the repairs are more expensive, and the system itself is aging to the place where there are gonna be some higher maintenance costs involved.
Well, we thought we'd go back and put this on an agenda item, because when we were in the special meeting, we just brought it back off the table. So it wasn't necessarily an agenda item. By putting it as an agenda item, it gave everybody the opportunity, if they wanted to come and make comments, they could, because it was out there. So this is just a cleanup. I don't think anybody is going to change their vote or ideas, or I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm going to stick with what I said. But, so are you looking for a motion just to
I'm
do
looking-
exactly what we did in the previous meeting?
That's what, I think that would be what I had
Okay.
in my mind.
The other item to make sure that we note is that this increase doesn't involve any cost for future replacement of underground storage tanks. It's gonna be a large expense, and when that happens, when we need to replace tanks, we are gonna probably have to look seriously at other options for fueling.
I think we were aware of that. Sitting here thinking there might be another option down the road. My thought was doing away with the tanks someday.
Yeah.
And go to credit card.
And it could be a phase out if we reach the point where, say, the gasohol tanks are needing replacement, but diesel is still okay. There may be a tweener time where
sure.
we're still selling diesel and we're not selling,
And we can cross all those bridges
Right.
when we come to them. Mr. Chairman, I was the one that tabled this, so I'm going to motion that we approve a 10-cent increase in our charges for fuel, effective July 1st, 2017.
And I would second.
Okay. Now, you said to increase it 10 cents. Okay, that's going to be a total of 15 cents. 'Cause it is confusing when we just say that. Would that be okay to put in your motion?
Sure. 10-cent increase, getting us to a 15-cent total upcharge.
Okay. Is that okay with the second?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Now I know where I got the, it says it on here. Solosik.
Yes.
I don't have it on mine.
Yeah, it's on the draft that Lisa did.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, I was about ready to call Denny and see how he was gonna vote.
okay. Moving on to item number 14 is to approve the liquor license, Class C liquor license number LC 0010945 with Sunday sales privilege and outdoor service request from West Marshall Golf Course Association doing business as Lincoln Valley Golf for renewal of their Class C liquor license. I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would motion that we would approve the Class C liquor license, number LC 0010945, renewal request from Lincoln Valley Golf, State Center, Iowa. This license includes Sunday sales privilege and outdoor service effective 6/30/2017 to 6/29/2018.
Mr. Chairman, I would second that.
Okay, this is not new. This has been going on for a number of years. Is there any discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The next one is the Sheriff's Department extension to a 28E agreement between Marshall County and the City of Clemens for law enforcement protection. Discussion and possible action on the extension agreement regarding the 28E agreement between Marshall County and the City of Clemens for law enforcement protection within the corporate limits of the City of Clemens. This agreement is effective July 1, 2017 to June 30th, 2018. The City of Clemens agrees to pay Marshall County the sum of $3,300. I'd entertain a motion for that.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the extension to the 2080 agreement between Marshall County and the City of Clemens, effective July 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2018. The City of Clemens agrees to pay Marshall County the sum of $3,300 annually.
Is there a second?
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Just a quick comment. This is something we do on an annual basis. These are all agreements that we'll be voting on today that are between the Sheriff's Department and our small and incorporated communities for Patrol Division. These are above and beyond what would normally occur. These fees are set at $50 per water meter, so it's per occupied home or business, and $300 per liquor license.
Any questions? Ready to go? Roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Okay, the next one then is item 16, Sheriff's Department extension to 28E agreement between Marshall County and the City of Ferguson for law enforcement protection. Discussion and possible action on the extension agreement regarding the 28E agreement between Marshall County and the City of Ferguson for law enforcement protection within the corporate limits of the City of Ferguson. This agreement, or the agreement is effective July 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2018. The City of Ferguson agrees to pay Marshall County the sum of $3,240. I'd entertain a motion, please.
I would make a motion to approve the extension of to 2080 agreement between Marshall County and the City of Ferguson, effective July 1st, 2017, June 30th, 2018. The City of Ferguson agrees to pay Marshall County the sum of $3,240.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item number 17, another 28E agreement. This is the Sheriff's Department extension to 28E agreement between Marshall County and the City of Gilman for the law enforcement protection. Discussion and possible action on the extension agreement regarding the 28E agreement between Marshall County and the City of Gilman for law enforcement protection within the corporate limits of the City of Gilman. The agreement is effective July 1, 2017 to June 30th, 2018. The City of Gilman agrees to pay Marshall County the sum of $12,900. The chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the extension to the 2080 agreement between Marshall County and the City of Gilman effective July 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2018. The City of Gilman agrees to pay Marshall County the sum of $12,900.
And I second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Swassick.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 18, Sheriff's Department extension to 2080 agreement between Marshall County and the City of Haverhill for law enforcement protection. Discussion and possible action on the extension agreement regarding the 2080 agreement between Marshall County and the City of Haverhill for the law enforcement protection within the corporate limits of the City of Haverhill. The agreement is effective July 1, 2017 to June 30th, 2018. The City of Haverhill agrees to pay Marshall County the sum of $4,140. The chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would make the